Justin. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Doing
Been doing better, but I'll tell you all about what happened today because
okay.
oh boy,
Oh boy.
it's a little stressful.
Well, today is our last session, so obviously at some point we will go over some of the things that we have talked about and some of the homework that we've done, um, some of the activities we've done together, and some of the homework that you've worked on, and sort of how you feel about your progress.
Hmm.
Do you want to tell me a little bit about your day first?
Yeah, I came to campus ready to study hard, get some work done, and lo and behold, my car has the check engine light on,
Oh
so
no.
had to make some calls, get stuff figured out for that, and just finals and other things I've got going on. Not the best time to have to. I mean, there's never really a good time to have to deal with car troubles, but it is what it is. So I gotta, shift focus a little bit and make sure that's handled. So
So what
stressful.
So what you're telling me is your car chose just the perfect moment to start having trouble, right?
Yeah,
Time for finals and the big things.
yeah, I definitely say so. Just I really wish I didn't have to deal with it. Wish my car would just be all right, but evidently something's off. So
So you feel a little wary because the check engine light is on right now.
yeah, because I'm gonna have to drive it back home. And if anything happens, that's even more stuff I gotta figure out. So I'm hoping when I'm able to drive it back home, just be able to park it and just leave it alone until I have I can go to my appointment and get it checked out.
Okay. So what all do you feel like your car troubles could get in the way of?
Well, I've got, gotta come to class. I gotta, I got a job to do. I've got, plans to go see my girlfriend in a couple of weeks where I was planning on driving down, so I might have to fly down, which is, a whole separate thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hopefully it won't be too bad.
So you feel frustrated when your car decided to have some troubles because you've got a lot of things to do. You've got places to go. You got people depending on you.
Yeah, I definitely say that. I just so much just adds another thing onto my plate. Where it's just like it's not even like a cool thing or a thing of substance. It's just a sauce he didn't ask for. Somebody tripped and spilled sweet and sour when I wasn't in the mood for it. It's not my vibe.
It's not what you wanted right now.
Yeah, not what I needed.
Gotcha. I mean, we've talked in the past about time management and all the things that you're juggling, trying to keep on your plate. So this this sounds like something that you didn't want to do right now. So it sounds very frustrating.
Yeah, luckily I don't have. I have some space to deal with it.
Good.
So it shouldn't impact me too much. Especially this is something that I can rely on a bit with my parents, getting some
Okay.
help from them. So it is not something that should cause me many worries. Like it all should be handleable. So only time will tell once I'm able to figure out more of what the problem is with my car.
So it's not the end of the world yet. You've got resources. It could not be a very big deal.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that. It's just big spike of anxiety to my day.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Does your girlfriend know about all this yet?
Yeah, I talked to her after I talked to my parents, just being like, I know we had our plans, just letting you know that this could shake things up, but I already, know what I'm going to do to handle it. If I don't have my car, I'll just
Okay.
fly down, which I've done before, so it's not a problem.
Well, it sounds like you're ahead of it. So I guess to give you a little bit of positive feedback, it sounds like you're already thinking about what this could impact and how to work around that. So I want to commend you for that.
Yeah, I think I've got pretty good skills as far as handling things like this goes. The just whenever something plops on my plate that's like an immediate thing, I just like I have no choice. I have to do it now, just because I know I can procrastinate from time to time. But my car exploding is something I can't really procrastinate on. So
That's not something you can reschedule. That's not
yeah,
something you can put off. Unfortunately, life continues. Um, So yeah, I mean, is there any more about that you want to talk about, or do you want to circle through some of our topics from former therapy sessions?
Yeah, I think circling back around is
Okay.
probably a good idea. There's not too much I can go forward with this, just what I
Right.
know now. So I'm not gonna concern myself with it too much.
Right. So, okay, well, I think that's responsible. So, as far as time management, because our main topic was trying to fit in me time with other obligations that you can't put off. How do you feel like you've done with that over the course of this process?
I think I'm doing a lot better now. I've kind of found times to get into doing a lot of the activities that I've been meaning to do.
Right.
And so that has been really helpful. I've been kind of able to integrate some of my, social, things I do week to week a little bit better. As far as like hanging out with friends and my girlfriend and things, able to kind of merge those together in certain ways that are able to, you know, pull off some of the pressure that I've got going on elsewhere. So
Right. So kind of combine some of your other obligations so you have more time
yeah,
available for free time.
yeah, freeing up some things, but otherwise I've just been doing a good job of keeping everything I've got planned out and
Okay.
sticking to that for the most part. So I have been happy with where I'm at as far as like what kind of me time I'm getting and working through all the things I want to do in my me time. So been doing well with that, I think.
So it sounds like you like using schedules and to-do lists and planning things out in advance.
Yeah, that's it's been pretty helpful for me so far. It's just can calm my brain down, just being able to kind of quantify where I can look for certain things and you know have that kind of like flexibility of being able to work things in as I need to.
You feel on top of things.
Yeah, because like once I get through like a list of things, I can go out and see. Okay, well, do I have anything else coming forward, or do I have like a week or so where I'm not gonna have too much to do?
Yeah.
Because like right now, I had gotten one of the projects for one of my classes done early
Mm-hmm.
because we had like 2 weeks to do it. So I just did it in the first week, which has opened up, this week as being a lot more, flexible for me, which is helpful because as it turns out, something managed to, come in
Right.
anyways. And so, I already had the space to handle it. So it's proving to be a good choice
Good.
by me.
I'm glad you got ahead of everything else, and because obviously we can't foresee car issues. I guess as far as free time goes, do you feel like you're happy with where you are right now? It sort of sounds like it, but is there anything else that you would like to fit into your week?
Nothing that I can think of at the moment. Like obviously I think I can like still improve on like my time management as a skill,
Sure.
but I think I'm off on like the path I want to be where I'm like
Good.
trying things out, making progress. It's just going to be up to me to keeping up with it.
Right. Right. We're at the maintenance point, aren't we?
Yeah, just kind of trying to keep it up, because coming to the end of this semester, it's going to be a
Right.
little bit of a change with the summer semester, just because it'll
Right.
be instead of like 3 classes, it'll be 2 classes, but each of those classes, when I have them the one day a week that I'm supposed to have them, it's saying that the lecture should be like 5 hours or something, which was a little strange to me, but I'm
Wow.
hoping that even with the accelerated process going on,
Mhm.
I'll still be able to balance things out
Sure.
enough.
Sure. Hopefully, having fewer classes will make up for the shorter semester.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm assuming it should all balance out.
Yeah.
Assuming I don't have like a professor that just tries to destroy me, but
Right.
haven't got one of those so far, so I'm gonna
Right.
hold on to hoping.
Good. 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 So it sounds like you're feeling pretty confident for the upcoming semester. It'll be different, but you feel like you have enough skills to keep on top of everything and feel sane.
Yeah, definitely, I would agree with that. It's pretty accurate. Yeah, because the only thing, because like I feel like I figured everything out that I can, and so I'm able to kind of give myself the leeway of like, well, obviously I'm not going to know everything about the situation,
Mm-hmm.
so I'll know when I get there. So I'm not
Right.
going to try to burden myself with continuing to worry about it unnecessarily.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, it sounds like you do a good job of planning the things you can, and sounds sounds like we're trying to manage anxiety around the things we can't plan.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I gotcha. So let's see here. What else have we talked about of this process? We talked a little bit about your girlfriend getting a job and moving up here this summer.
Very happy about that. That's all progressing at a nice pace. Just the other day, had just talked to her dad as well about some of the plans for helping along with the moving process.
Okay.
They just got like a whole thing set up with the like the way that they're gonna move up. There's like a thing called like it's like a U-Haul pod. It's a whole thing, and they have like this other business they were looking into. There was like providing like boxes as a way of like managing and keeping things together. That was different than cardboard boxes.
Oh.
Because there's a she doesn't like the sensory, like the sounds and like the sensory things that like involved with like a lot of cardboard stuff. So
okay,
it makes things a lot easier.
So this is better this way. I've never heard of that. It sounds very interesting.
It was the first time I've heard of it as well when she told me about it. So
it's interesting. Got more bins and stuff instead of
definitely like more bins.
Cool. I mean, it's very interesting. I think plan is the word of the day, but it sounds like you guys have a good plan. It seems like the families are working together to get her up here and get her settled.
Yeah, we're doing everything we can. It's just I wish I could do more just because a lot of the work that she has to go through sorting her stuff, packing it up, and getting all that stuff done is a lot of it falls to her, and she'll have to figure it out over the course of like the next month and a half essentially, and it's just like not really in the in the position to drive down there about like I want to. So
she's still out of town, and your car potentially might have some
would explode if I was trying to push it for 7 hours.
Right.
Can't much do. I'm just
wish
I could be there.
Okay.
Just because I'm so busy that I like all the responsibilities I have. It means I can't really go down there, but it means I can't be there for her like I'd like to be. So
okay.
That much is rather unfortunate.
Yeah. Are you feeling a little anxious that you're not able to help her more with her side of the process?
Yeah, I definitely want to be able to give more as far as like helping out like along with the process, especially just because moving tends to be a lot. It's a lot of work, at least sorting everything out, getting things backed up, and just making sure that the the apartment that she has been living in is moving out of is in decent shape, just because getting all the deposits back.
Right.
Like that is a whole process.
Okay, I got you. So you're feeling a little guilty then, just about not being able to help, even if it's outside of your control.
Yeah.
But well, that's good to know. I mean, I think I've appreciated throughout this process that you seem to be very aware of what's going on and how you're feeling about saying things. So I think that's helped me a lot to get an idea of how you're feeling and how you're doing. So thank you for that.
I tend to be very introspective about just a lot of things. I like to try to handle things myself first for the most part, and then afterwards, if that doesn't work, usually it's something where I can, all right, clearly I need somebody else, and I can go out and get that help. So it's just a lot of times, when I'm like coming into therapy, it's like it's not like I haven't thought about a lot of the things that I try to talk about. It's just like I'm usually missing something, so I'm like hopefully I can get get some insight from somebody else that'll kind of help me out.
Feel you like to be independent first, and then
I try to be as much
as I like to that. Well, cool. So let's see. We've got that. What else have we talked about? We talked a little bit about gaming frustrations, which I think also loops in with free time and trying to find a new web series, new comic series.
Yeah, I did beat that thing that I was looking for.
Good.
It had me cheesed the last time. So I was very happy about that. It was I was like, fine, I can be done with that thing. And so I've moved along. I have other things I'm doing before I kind of get back on that horse. So I feel better about like the whole process because I have like a better understanding of like what I'm looking at and like the best way that I can kind of fit it into my schedule. Because
Okay.
what I'm thinking is it'll just be something where it's like, all right, I can have like my, one attempt of the day, like just in the morning. It's like a way to kind of like get me going. Because like
Okay.
oftentimes when I wake up, I have a tough time getting started on work just immediately
Sure.
after I wake up because I feel
Yeah.
like I haven't done anything yet. Please, I don't want to get started on something immediately. So it kind of helps me uh, calm my brain down about that, and
Get your day
I'll feel like,
started.
okay, got some of that, packed away. And so even if I'm busy the rest of the day, I did, or like I already spent time doing something for myself, which is
Okay.
helpful. So I
Okay.
try to fit it in for a good spot where I know I'm already not particularly productive,
Mm-hmm.
and so been scheduling things out for my like just managing my time that way has been pretty
Okay.
helpful because it also prevents me from getting stuck and wanting to do the one thing and then trying at that for way too long. So because
Okay.
like if I give myself like a target, this is like, all right, I get my one go at it, and after that I can always
Okay.
I'll get my next attempt at it the next day, and then
Sure.
that way it's I'm not like limited in a sense. Like I have like a very packaged idea of what I can do and it works. So
Okay. I would like to. There's a lot there that I would like to unpack. I think the first thing is I've never heard someone use cheesed the way you do. Do you want to tell me what that kind of means to you?
it can mean a couple of things, I
Okay.
suppose. The most the most closely related thing I could say I think is peeved
Peeved.
is
Okay.
the way I use it the most,
Okay.
where I'm just like, something's not that bad, but it just
It's
can get on your nerve
like a
for a hot second.
minimal irritation.
Yeah, where it's just
Um,
like it's just when something it's like it's not really an issue. I have no reason to complain about it. It's just sometimes it just gets you in a special way. She cheeses me.
That really cheeses me. Really grinds me gears.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think besides besides clarifying the definition of cheese, I think it's very interesting that you describe, logging on, playing some video games in the morning as a good way to get your day started. It sounds like you understand that pretty well, but I guess just to help me understand, does that sort of, I don't know, does that feel like your morning coffee? How does that feel?
Yeah, I think it is a way to kind of satiate the part of your brain that just needs something early in the morning. Because I know for a lot of people can't start their day without like coffee. Or there's just like there's some part of like the morning routine
Yeah.
that helps a lot of people get going. And then so for me, it's just I need to have like I need to have something for me to have done first, just to
Yeah.
kind of ensure that I have done something for myself during the
Yes.
day. Because the one thing that just like kills me
Yeah.
uh is like if I like do a day where I'm busy the whole thing and never get time for myself, because I know
Mm-hmm.
that I will make the time for myself in the middle of the night and then sleep less, which is not
Uh-huh.
healthy. So
Uh-huh.
I'm foregoing that,
Wow.
you know, I know I'll do that. So I'm foregoing that behavior occurring by just getting in my time immediately, because it only,
Yeah.
like I just need like 1 hour or so, like 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, just right at the beginning after I wake up.
Yeah.
And since that usually includes the process of me waking up and
Uh-huh.
becoming more mentally there in the
Of course.
morning, it tends to do well, because getting up and like trying to start on like a project or writing a paper is never really going to happen for me, just because my brain's not all there. I need to give it some time to get
Yeah.
spinning. And so this kind of gives me, all right, a slightly mindless activity gets the
Yeah.
wheels spinning, and then I can
It's
move on and do whatever I need to do
yeah.
during the day, and not have to worry about being like I'm going to be up till 3 or 4 a.m. just doing something else because my brain is upset.
Well, cool. I think I understand where you come from. I don't think a lot of people like to roll out of bed and then immediately start doing the dishes or something like that, start working on things. So I do want to commend you for actually like limiting yourself to we're gonna do one attempt with this game
Do one thing.
and then moving on.
Yeah, it's a strategy I like particularly developed for that one game just because it is a kind of like complete experience if you
Mhm.
just like have one go at it.
Right.
Where it's like if I was like trying to do something like a different thing in the morning, I would, change like how I was limiting myself just because, my brain kind of craves just like a complete experience with that
Okay.
just because it feels like just it feels complete. It's like all right, setting myself off at a good like with just a good basis and then moving on because if you feel unfulfilled then of course then you're I'm not going to be able to keep myself
Right.
focused on whatever task I'm doing because I'm going to be
Right.
just going to be like
It's gonna
didn't get what I wanted.
gonna be in the back of
So
your mind.
yeah,
So
I try to develop a way to kind of get that kind of complete fulfilled
mhm.
experience thing just so I didn't have any nagging thoughts
Right.
going on.
So that sort of I assume we're talking about Call of Duty again, right? It's
Yeah,
the game right now. I assume it's like
those holidays.
a good stopping place. If you do one attempt at a certain objective, it feels like a good bookmark.
Yeah,
Go and do something else.
yeah, because it's usually either, I do the thing I wanted to do, which is great, or I learn something new, which is, will only help me in the future. And so, you know, my complete experience is like, all right, I learned a new thing, cool. And then I can take that and, chew on it throughout the day
Cool.
if I need to.
Okay. But in a way that still helps you focus on homework or focus on work or
Yeah, because I've also been playing Cyberpunk 2077
oh
recently, and
wow.
it's been very fun, but very in a very similar way. I just be like, okay, hop on, do a quest or two, and then it's a very package like all right, doing a quick story, going out punching some dudes, and then I have a very defined stopping point,
Mhm.
and I can hop on out and go do something else, which is nice.
So you feel fulfilled, satisfied, if
Yeah,
you will, when you get to one of these stopping places. You finish an objective, you do an attempt in Call of Duty, um, because you know that you'll be able to move on with your day and do other things.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll be a lot more.
I think it's only about like 30 seconds, but cool. Okay. So I think we haven't done a whole lot of homework throughout this process. One of them was to find a new comic series. The other one was to wrap up that one achievement that we were talking about that
Mhm.
one session that was really getting to you.
Yeah, I did get that one,
Good.
and I have found I've got like two things kind of lined up to be working through.
Okay.
I've
New series.
Yeah, two series. I've got Doctor Stone, and then I'm gonna do Vinland Saga after it. So that should be good. I should be prepared for a while because still got like 100 chapters left in Doctor Stone, and then I think
Wow.
Vinland Saga is supposed to be really long, so
Okay.
that'll keep me going for I'm hopefully next few months.
Good. I have
But we'll see about that.
let's see. I have been watching the Vinland Saga series, but we cannot talk about that right now, or we will derail. But cool. It sounds like you've got a lot of reading to look forward to.
Yeah, I got things lined up for myself, which is just helpful. Uh, I'm back at a just a comfortable position where I'm time management skills are coming together pretty nicely, and I have things to do for myself
Good. Yeah.
alongside that. Because the worst thing is like, all right, I have time for myself, but if I don't have anything that I want to do with that, I just
Right.
go, oh, I'm wasting my time.
Okay.
Oh, and that causes its own issue, but not there.
That can be yeah, that can be very frustrating if you don't get that time a lot and then you don't have anything you want to do with it and you feel like you're wasting your time with choice paralysis.
Yeah. Luckily, not in any choice paralysis for now. It shouldn't be for a while. So
Good.
I'm gonna hoping to hold on to that.
Good. And it sounds like after, Call of Duty, it sounds like you still have Cyberpunk
Yeah, I've got
2077.
yeah, got a couple of things kind of lined up just to give myself the options I need.
Good. I think when we were talking about free time and me time, we were talking about like doing the fun things for yourself, having stuff to read and stuff games to play. We are also talking. I need to do less with my hands. We also talked a little bit about I think finding time to work out, do some yoga, things like that? How do you feel like you're doing with that right now?
Not doing as good with that,
Okay.
mostly just because with the pickup of like finals,
Right.
as far as my thing goes, I've kind of mentally set an expectation that I'm kind of holding off on some of the like the working out type activities until I get the whole situation figured out. My girlfriend moves up here because
Okay.
one of the things that we had talked about before in the past was, we wanted to do like we wanted to have a day where we went like working out together. So,
Yeah.
we wanted to have a time set for that where we
Okay.
went to the gym together and, did that as a way of kind of holding each other accountable and then
Right.
having, having, something to do together as well
Right.
that was consistent.
Right. Okay.
So right now, as far as for how busy we are, we're not quite there to being able to do that yet. So I'm expecting to pick up with a lot more of
Okay.
that stuff later. Just right now, not really feasible with just having to write papers. Oh my
Right.
God, I have to write papers.
Lots of papers. So seems like you feel pretty okay with where you're at with working out because there's a plan. There's your girlfriend's gonna be moving to town. You're
Yeah.
gonna be doing that with her, which will also be some time you get to spend with her.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got it all settled. Don't need to be doing it right now because
Mm-hmm.
I've already got other things going on and
Yeah.
I'll be doing it in the future regardless. So
Well, hey, if you are happy with where you're at with that right now, I'm happy with it. That sounds good to me. We don't have to push that push that one anymore. So yeah, let's see. Is there anything else you would like to talk about today? What's on your mind?
what is on my mind? That is the question.
How are you feeling with finals?
I feel like I'm doing all right. Just kind of dreading getting started on the ethics paper,
Mm-hmm.
just because I know I'm gonna have to find 6 references, and I'm not. Yeah, you're all good. And I'm not quite sure what to be putting in for the references, just because the whole
Mm-hmm.
whole
Uh-huh.
bit of the paper is supposed to be all right. You're applying the ethical decision making model to a situation, and I looked at the situation. It's like one paragraph worth of stuff, and most of the case studies in the book have been longer with more information.
Oh.
So it's just like I like the idea is like, all right, well, if we're trying to be applying the model and like using our perspective and like figuring things out ethically, why do we need references from outside sources? I thought I was supposed to be, giving them what I thought so they could assess whether or not I learned about ethics well. So I'm gonna have to go.
It's a lot of references.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go looking around and need to find 6 whole things that'll relate to the paper and then include them somewhere.
Okay.
Uh, but other than that, it's like 8 pages, but I don't expect it to be tough to get there, just
Okay.
given the way that the paper is set up, just because there's like 6 different steps we really need to take into account, and then
Okay.
there's going to be like an introductory thing and a conclusion thing. I'm sure I'll be able to get there. It's just probably going to take a long time to do,
Yeah.
which is
8 pages.
unfortunate. But
It's
it's
a lot of writing.
I just wrote a 10-page paper, so technically this one's shorter, so it should be fine. Be cool, except the other one I didn't have references on.
That's easier. We were talking about
Somebody was potentially exploding. We wanted to make sure that they weren't exploding.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all good then. Well, given that it is supposed to be the last session,
Yeah.
so I guess I'm not gonna really be coming around here anymore. So I'm not sure like what I should do if something new pops up. What if I have another problem?
Well, you are always welcome to come back here. Since you're one of my existing clients, you kind of get a little bit more priority if you want to come back to swing back into things. I've also got a list of my regular resources, my regular referrals, if there's someone else you would want to talk to. But if you find that you're looking for something more specific, you can always send me an email, and I've got some more specific resources for specific issues and stuff. But
I think that'll be really helpful.
yeah.
Yeah, then if I think it would also be helpful if you emailed me the just like the list of things, because I tend to lose like a lot of the paper
Okay.
for things that I have, because like I'll put it down on my like my dresser or something, and I'll be like with the other things that I've put down on my dresser and be like, oh, I'll come around and find a place for it later, and then it comes a stack of papers, and then
it's gone.
then it's gone, lost into the void. I almost had that recently, actually. I was preparing for writing this paper I got for my ethics class, right? And I was like, oh, how do I cite this kind of specific thing again? Because, you have to change how you cite things depending on if it's like a book or an article or a website or, a video or any of those things. And so we had this, neat little cheat sheet we got, when we first, got into the counseling program. And so I was like, oh, I need to find that again. And then I looked around a little bit. I kind of did once over the room and I said, I have no idea when I last left it. It's got to be like, hopefully it's in one or two places where I did the thing where I put down the papers regarding certain things and just kind of left them. And I did manage to find it.
Oh gosh.
But I was very close to being, oh no, because it is a very helpful little pamphlet. I use it every time I have to write a reference for a paper just to make sure I have things straight, because it's just so helpful.
So what you're telling me is digital resources work better for you than paper, which can be lost.
Yeah, I'm a lot better at keeping a lot of digital things organized, or like knowing where to, come back to them. Just because it's a lot easier to go, like trolling through my downloads folder and saying, okay, well, because like, physically speaking, if it's like a thing in my downloads folder, it has to be somewhere in my downloads folder, and there's a search function there. You know that there isn't a search function
in your room,
and there's many places things could be. Well, what's even going on with that? I don't understand.
I think you also helped me remember what we were talking about earlier. We were talking a little bit about your ethics paper and how
that's true.
Gotta find a lot of, so we're back on it. So yeah, you were just telling me a little bit about how got a lot of sources that you need to find for this thing that doesn't clearly need a lot of sources, and trying to figure that out. But
yeah, I'll have to figure out like what I want to do with the sources, because I'm sure I could write the whole paper without any.
Yeah.
So
shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna either need to, email the professor, just be like, hey, I'm not quite sure, what I'm supposed to be doing with this. I could really use some direction. Or I can do the thing I usually do, which is, I'll go to the Google Scholar, and I'll find some peer-reviewed things, and then if something is, related to one of the aspects I'll go in and I'll pull off 6 of those names, I'll cite them, and then I'll, specifically in text cite them at one point in the paper, and then I'll be okay, because technically I did the thing, and depending on how they have the
it's in here.
Depending on how they have the the criteria listed out on the rubric, maybe then he won't be able to get me for it. He'll have to begrudgingly give me a good grade. It's like, technically you did all the things, and like technically it's not bad, but I know he's gonna be like, I know you were doing a thing about it, but hopefully that's not.
So it sounds like it is a significant assignment, but you're not terribly worried about it. It'll probably be fine.
Yeah, I've written a million papers throughout the years, and I've had many situations in which I had to find.
You're gonna cut real quick, and I'm gonna put this on do not disturb. I'm so sorry.
You're all good.
I feel like that was an unknown number that time, so
it's always, when it's a when it rains it pours kind of a situation, when you are already busy, because I had one of my students, of course, texted me being like, hey, we reschedule a thing real quick about some of the days.
You're like,
I'm like, yeah, sure. No reason I can't, but like, weird that it happens. It happens on the day where doing something for school, car gets a it says I'm going to explode. Ridiculous.
Absolutely.
All right.
We can keep talking about your student.
I want to cut back in.
Okay.
All right. Bam. So yeah, I've done a million, wrote a million papers where I've had to use references for things. So as far as getting the assignment done, I've done it a million times. Right. I'm sure this won't be, any different as far as, using what I've learned throughout the semester and then finding relevant resources. Right. I'm sure I'll be able to stitch together something that I'm proud of or like I'm happy with, like usually where stuff will like start to bother me. This is not necessarily like the act of doing it stinks or like I'm gonna do a bad job. It's just it takes time,
Mm-hmm.
and I hate it
Uh-huh.
when things take an abstract concept of time,
Okay.
and it's just like this is just gonna be part of my life thrown into the bin. Because usually, like if I'm like doing my job or like writing like a paper, usually in the moments that I'm actually doing the thing, I'm like vibing, having a decent time, just getting through it and being all right. And then after the fact, I'm like, nice, I finished the thing. I feel happy about it. I feel rewarded. I did a good job, and I'll be good. But the dread I feel the moment before starting anything or like the just leading up to something
Uh-huh.
crushes me.
Okay.
It is. I don't know why because it doesn't make sense logically that
Sure.
before you're doing the thing,
Uh-huh.
it's like just a looming monument to my to sadness. Because usually when I'm doing something, I'm fine.
I think that does make sense. I think it makes sense that it sounds like you're not so much wary about if it's manageable because you think you feel pretty confident that it's manageable. It sounds like you're more wary about just the amount of work you're looking forward to.
Yeah, I guess yeah, that makes sense. I think the way I'm thinking about it is the best way of saying it is just like because that time is being used for this thing that's less cool, I don't get to use that time for more cool things, and that's a shame.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, it's existence.
So it's
It
this
peeves me. It cheeses
it
me.
chases you. Right. So it's not so much this, well, there is this looming task in front of you, but it's also the stuff that looming monument is taking up space from.
Yeah, it's representative. It's like
Symbolic.
yeah, because it's just like all right, if somebody says all right from 12 to 2 on Saturday, you're gonna have a you know you gotta you're gonna have a time where if it'll feel like you just ate spicy food and your mouth kind of burns for that whole amount of time. It's just like you can't do anything else during that time, so you're just like, oh boy, I can't wait to look forward to that thing that's gonna be annoying for that amount of time.
Uh-huh.
Wonderful.
Oh, cool. I like your spicy food metaphor. Um, let's see here. Did you want to say anything else about your tutoring experience? We talked a little bit about some frustration with some families and students.
Yeah, it's just funny a lot of the times just because I feel like it's a funny joke played by the universe. It's like whenever I'm busy with other things
Mm-hmm.
is when I'll get communication from them. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
okay, I need to send an email out or send a text message or just communicate in that ways. When I'm wide open, I'm like, okay, I'll keep an eye out for any emails,
Nothing.
anything. It's just nothing,
Nothing.
nothing. I don't know how they do it, but
So surreal. So this is the one family that we were talking about a little bit that weren't sending you their scores, they weren't getting back to
yeah,
you.
finally got back to them. I was able to
Good.
close the account for
Okay.
them. That was like a whole thing, but yeah, one of my other students that I had recently yet again canceled a session like really recently before the thing, and I was just like, okay, because like it's not like they didn't have a good reason. It's just the person being sick, but it's just like
Mm-hmm.
it's been so long since I last had a session with them. I'm like, all of the thoughts have probably already left that kid's head, and there's no way for me to get it back in the amount of time that we have
Uh-huh.
left. And so, however well they do is however well they do, but I've nothing I can do about it.
Right, right. You feel wary that all the hard work you put it in, but they might forget all of that and still
Yeah,
do how they do.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't it's just I think the only people who benefit from the SAT and the ACTs are the people who write the questions because they get to have fun and putting in all their little tricks because obviously all the parents care a lot about it and they want things to happen well, but of course they're not the ones taking the test, so they can only do so much. And of course all the kids don't want to do it because it's a standardized test and it's stupid.
Yeah.
And it's got a bunch of tricks in it. So like obviously they're not trying to put effort into it, but they're the ones who have to do the thing. And so it's I don't know what it's there for. And the funny thing is, I hear there are a lot of colleges, especially nowadays, that aren't requiring it anymore. Right. So it's just like, what's the point, man? Because like a lot of the times, a lot of my students aren't even they're just like, all right, we want some grade that's it's like decent. It's an acceptable grade. It's just like good, cool. Don't know why they're doing it. They're going through all this work for something that nobody seems to be happy about, for a score they probably don't even need for the schools they're trying to go to. It's very strange. I'm getting paid for it, so that's great. But it is just weird to see that.
It's it seems like there's this existential crisis that both cheeses you and that you also find maybe a little funny.
Yeah, it is just a strange thing, just because I'm gonna just for fun a little bit. It's just like, even if you're like coming in to get some tutoring, as far as like maybe you really want to get the top scores in all the sections, and you want to get like you want to get as close to a perfect grade on that test as you can, because maybe you're shooting for one of the Ivy League schools. You want to go to Harvard, right? Even then, I don't know if it's worth it. Just because, does Harvard care? Are they gonna let you in if you have a perfect score? Because I feel like they either see enough of it already, or they're like, "Oops, sorry, we already admitted a million of it, like 3,000 other kids who are like genetic freaks with brains the size half the size of the state." So tough. Uh, it just it's just a very strange.
Do you find yourself thinking about this a lot?
Only ever when I it kind of gets like thrown in my face of just like uh student who's like, all right, doing really well, doing all these things, and it's just like, all right, last time on the mock test they got like this score, which is much higher than the baseline score they were working off from. And they're like, all right, everything's looking good, everything's looking up, and then it's like, all right, time to go take the real test, and they're just like, oopsie.
Oh.
And I'm just like, I literally have no idea what happened. I I don't know how much I can help.
Sounds like there's a lot of tutoring things that are out of your hands.
Yeah, and it's as far as the it being my job goes, I'm very much fine with that. It's something I've come to like I accept it very much. So it's just very very fun to me, just because like I'm going in, I'm doing my thing, and if it helps them, great. And if not, it's whatever. It's just I see the kind of conflict in motivation from all the parties involved, and it's just interesting to see as like just an observer, and that's just
Right.
kind of entertains me. I'm just kind of, a lot of the times I'm just spinning yarn for spinning yarn's sake. I like to make that narrative, but it's just fun to see and reflect on, because I know that I was in a very similar spot in the past, where it's like my parents cared a lot more than I did, but of course I'm the one who has to take the test because it's for my benefit or whatever.
For your future.
Yeah, and it was something where it's just like, when I was getting tutoring, it didn't help me because I wasn't motivated. I didn't have any personal ties in it, and so
yes.
I just I'll see that elsewhere. I'm just like, it is what it is. I'm getting my thing. They're making an attempt. If it doesn't work,
Yeah.
That's what they're signing on for, and if it does help, that's also what they were signing on for. So
I guess
it's just very funny.
To summarize, you're feeling pretty comfortable because you're doing your due diligence.
Yeah,
and
I'm doing everything I can, giving it my full effort. It's just the little byproduct of having seen a couple of clients so far, and just kind of seeing how the process is, which just, man, I don't know why anybody thinks standardized testing is a good way for like measuring children's intelligence or aptitude with anything. Because oh boy, they don't care, and you're not going to be able to get a good judgment of how good somebody is at something if they do not care about it and are not trying. Because I will see kids where it's like, all right, let's do the thing, and we'll go through a number of problems, knock them all out like it's not even a problem. But if you try to do it on a test day where they don't have any kind of personal tie or like motivation or
Right.
interest in the thing,
Investment.
they're just like, yeah, it looks like, see, I'm just gonna, and they'll move right along, or they'll, have one of any number of problems. Yeah.
Well, minus the interruption time. So cool. I guess let's do a little inventory here since this is our last session for a little
Yeah,
while,
that's a
seeing
good
as you are a busy full-time student.
Mhm.
So we're feeling good on adding free time, me time to your plate.
Mhm.
Discussed a little bit. Working out time is coming, but we feel okay with where that's at
Got a
right
plan
now.
for it.
There's not much we can do about the car stuff right now, but we shall see.
Yeah, I've got that all around. I've got plans for it. Like I know how I'm going to move forward in just about any situation
Right.
that can arise. So
Which
got
is
all
good.
that accounted for.
It sounds like with your finals, it sounds like you're feeling pretty good considering the amount of work.
Yeah, like I think I've got well developed skills for handling a lot of the things in front of me. A lot of just what I'm looking forward to is,
Okay.
keeping up with, keeping on developing and just trying new things out as I need to.
And then we found a couple new games and series, so we've accomplished our homework goals
Indeed.
for this process. Sounds like you're feeling well enough about the tutoring thing as much as you can, as much as you can control.
Yeah, I think as far as, what I'm like looking for in a job and everything, it's
Yeah.
manageable, it's, works with my schedule, so
Right.
flexibility wise, and I, enjoy my time doing my job,
Good.
which
Okay.
is good. And I get, at least the entertainment factor of being able to talk about it in such a way of just being like, man, look at all these, what's even happening with standardized tests.
Right.
So I'm feeling good
To
about
be
it.
a bit of a spectator as well. So I guess therapeutically, not that we have very much time left today, but therapeutically, is there anything you feel like we haven't accomplished together? Is there anything you can see yourself wanting to work on?
I mean, besides what I was like talking before about just kind of keeping up with my skills,
Yeah.
I feel like I've hit all the goals I've kind of, set for coming in here. Just kind of talking about, time management,
Right.
Stress management as well. And because, a lot of those two things can tie in together in a lot of ways. So, been working on both of those, been getting where I want to be with both of those. So,
yeah.
I'm very happy with where I'm at.
Good.
So just gonna keep on, trying to chug on forward.
And I think a lot of the skills that you've mentioned and that you've used throughout the time period that we've been seeing each other, I think a lot of that is you, and a lot of that is stuff that you've developed over time. So I think I'm leaving you in capable hands, which are your own hands.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have used like a lot of like what we talked about as far as like trying to figure out, how to like develop my plans and move forward in ways that'll be, helpful for, looking at these goals because specifically.
Well, cool. Because we're going to meet for this semester, and because
I was gonna say I should probably get back onto the train of thought that I was on,
go ahead,
so that
yeah,
the transition is at least partly natural.
Perfect.
So as I want to see here, yeah, a lot of the skills that I've been, working on and building, I've kind of used like a lot of the insight that I've gained from our conversations to, figure out like some parameters for, helping me get what I want. Just because, like I was saying earlier, I had to, I use what I was thinking about and like all the experiences we've discussed, to be like, okay, well, it's that kind of sense of like fulfillment where I have a complete experience. Like that was an important part
Right.
from before because I, wasn't quite getting that. I didn't
Yeah.
know why I was,
Okay.
having some trouble with like, what I was trying to, do for me time and all
Okay.
that stuff. So it was all connected and
Okay.
develop a lot of the strategies
Good.
based on just kind of new insights that I got.
Good. Okay. So it seems like the trying to have the full experience, as you said, with the games and whatnot. So that was sort of a new revelation.
Yeah, or at least like how I was like managing the planning out my time and just like doing it specifically in the morning for a set kind of
Okay.
experience and that
So
just
your routine.
yeah, it was like how I was assembling everything
Okay.
was a bit different. So
Well, good. Well, good. That was most of what we were planning on doing, is not necessarily changing a lot of your other things in life so much as fitting things in better.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
good. Good. Just wanted, yeah, obviously since we have a limited amount of time together, wanted to make sure you felt pretty good about where we're leaving off. So cool. Okay, I think
Let's see how much time. So all right, you might be like